All right, here we are with the afternoon update here from InfoWeather. A few things: this Gulf system has now become Tropical Storm Ferdinand, and that's heading towards the Mexican coast. Tropical storm warning in effect from the Texas-Mexico border down southward. A few other systems: Invest 92L has a medium chance of formation, 50% in the next 48 hours, 50% in the next 5 days. Tropical Depression 8 has formed out of this Invest here. Expect to become a tropical storm and then zoom off to the northwest. The other area we're watching, the other two areas we're watching, probably likely going to form in the next few days. This one here in red will likely form in the next 3 to 5 days. This one probably the next 6+ days. The main event that we're talking about obviously is still Hurricane Dorian, now a Category 3 hurricane heading up northward, and it's a borderline Category 3, almost Category 2. But as you can see, watches and warnings across the whole thing. The Bahamas back down to a tropical storm warning, thankfully, as the storm has pulled away to the north and west. Hurricane warnings in effect for both the Florida coast, South Carolina coast, and parts of the North Carolina coast. Hurricane watch extended farther north, and as well here in parts of Georgia. Tropical storm warning in effect there, and a storm surge warning all the way from Florida northward into North Carolina, where we then have a storm surge watch, tropical storm watch, up into Virginia. It's expected that it retains Category 3, maybe Category 2 strength up through North Carolina before it becomes post-tropical. Front takes it off and it loses its tropical characteristics. Take a look now at the rainfall predictions here. We're looking at mainly the South Carolina, North Carolina area. 10 inches or more expected along South Carolina, 6 to 10 inches there in orange, and then 3 to 6 in yellow. Another thing we're going to look at is the storm surge, of course, for the whole coast. In orange here, we have 4 to 7 feet, for some reason not labeled, 3 to 5 feet here in yellow, and 2 to 4 feet here in blue. Worst case wind scenario, no more major hurricane force winds expected on shore, but hurricane force winds possible all the way from Virginia down south into Florida as the storm's wind field expands as it begins to weaken. Tropical storm force winds possible all the way up into New Jersey. Latest from the European model has the storm riding the coastline as we've been watching over the past few days. Very tight, narrow guidance here from the American model, and the National Hurricane Center has a nice representation of what's going on. Tight motion up hugging the shoreline, and then watches and warnings for the whole entire coast. Rainfall, as we mentioned, could get significant, especially with that storm surge coming on shore as the storm remains partially offshore. And once again, tight model guidance here from the spaghetti models as well. The intensity forecast as the low in Cat 3 might move up a little bit as it enters the Gulf Stream, but regardless, it will eventually continue to weaken as it moves north, as it continues to move north. And the infrared, you can see the eye has deteriorated significantly. Hardly any heavy convection here on the north side, but sadly, Grand Bahama still getting hammered by some of this deeper convection there to the south. Latest aircraft, we do have one into Ferdinand, which is that system in the Gulf. Really nothing significant, and you can see our pressure is up to 958, which is relatively high compared to what it has been. But you can see the purple wind barbs, which are hurricane force winds all the way out to the edge of the flight path, which does mean we could potentially have some onshore, and we'll take a look at that right now. You can see tropical storm force winds clearly onshore, hurricane force winds really not that far off, hence why we still have that hurricane warning in place. We'll take a look now at the storm surge expected for the area, and you can see all the way up the coast, especially in the sounds here off the inside North Carolina by the Outer Banks. That's all we got for now. I'll have another update out soon.